Alright guys, I am going to make with you today, it's called a cheesy ground beef rice casserole. And right now I have got some onions going here in the pot. I'm going to let these brown a little bit. It's 2 diced onions and they're just in some olive oil. You're just going to want these to get, like I see my camera crew, I love him very much. He diced the onions for me, and I seem to have some skins in here still. Bless his heart. That's what we say in the South. Bless his little heart. So, we're going to get these all... I'll tell you what, I just have an interesting little pieces of onions I've never seen before. So that's what happens when you get somebody to do that for you, huh? So this is just going to be an easy little casserole. We're going to be able to eat on it for a little while this weekend, or this week. But I'm just going to try to get these onions a little bit cooked, a little bit translucent. I want them to get the flavor going in the pot before we add our and we have a jumper there. It's a little bit too hot to chop for him apparently. Alright, let me get these going, and we'll be back to add the meat. Alright guys, we've got our onions ready. They're nice and toasted. And I've got a pound of, the recipe calls for a I don't know why I can't say this, a pound of ground beef. I'm going to use turkey. Ground turkey again. Like I said, I try to make it a little bit more healthy if I can. So we're just going to get this to brown up. Get it all mixed in here with the onions. We're going to get this to brown up, and then we're going to add a little bit of salt and pepper, a little bit of oregano. I don't have any oregano, so I'm just going to use some Italian seasoning. And a little bit of garlic powder once we get this all browned up in here. So, I'm going to get this browned up and then we'll go to the next step. Alright guys, so we've got our meat. And since it's turkey, I'm not going to worry about draining it. It's pretty lean. It's got a little bit of juices in here, but if you're using a kind of a more fatty beef in yours, make sure to drain the fat. So you're just going to salt and pepper to taste. And we don't use a whole lot of salt in our house. Just a couple sprinkles. A little bit of Italian seasoning, but really it needs oregano, but there's oregano in Italian seasoning. That counts, right? Give me some cool points, people. A little bit of garlic powder. And look at that, it's all balling up because of the steam. Don't you just hate when that happens? I surely do. I don't know, I'm talking like I'm from Alabama. Oh, because I am! Oh, snap. Just kidding. Alright, so we're going to give this a good stir. Got garlic seasoning all over me. Give this a good stir. We're going to bring this back down to medium. Had it on medium-high while I was cooking the meat. Smells really good. Hopefully you guys can see it from all the steam. Alright, now that we've got all that together, we're going to add some more ingredients. We're going to add 1.5 cups of chicken broth. Just pour that in. We're going to add 1 cup of peas. I just have frozen peas. Probably supposed to let them defrost, but patience is not my virtue, people. Small can, 8 ounces of tomato sauce. And calls for, that's very heavy. Calls for some rice. I got the packaged rice because it had a little bit more seasoning in it. I think this is like Italian herb or something, I don't know. But put your rice in there. Then you're going to put a cup of shredded cheese. So you're going to stir this around. just so it gets all accumulated and married together. Get married, y'all. Stirring it up. Smells pretty good so far. I've never made this before, so we'll see if it tastes good. That's what really matters. Who cares about the smell? It's gotta taste good. Alright. So I'm gonna let this cook for a little while just so everything can kind of come to the same temperature. And we'll be back for the next step. Olay. Alright guys. So this has been simmering for, I let it simmer for about 5 minutes on the stove. It's really thickened up a lot. I've had my oven going and it's set on 350 degrees, so it's ready for the casserole. So I've got my casserole dish here. I have greased it down. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this on my table, which stinks. Hi babe. You want to come hold the spoon for me? He's camera shy. Alright, oh, let me do it this way. So we're just going to plop this all in. Make sure you get it all. Smells really good. I did kind of sample it. I put a little bit more peas in there because I actually put more rice than the recipe calls for, so I probably could have put more ground beef in there too, or turkey. But we'll just go with this for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the, thank you peas. I'm going to put this in the oven and I'm going to let it cook uncovered for 15 minutes. And then once I get in the oven, we'll make our cheese topping that's going to go on this. Okay guys, while our casserole is in the oven, we are making kind of like a sour cream cheese topping to put on it to make it real creamy. So I've got a cup of sour cream. Again, I use Greek yogurt instead of sour cream just to kind of help out to make it a little bit more healthy. And then you're going to take about a cup of cheese. And I'm just going to use the rest of this bag because that's how I roll. I hate when I spill cheese. Alright, so you're just going to want to stir this all together. I should have got a bigger bowl. Oh well. My counter's clean, I promise. I just wiped it down today. Today was clean the kitchen day. Do you guys ever get that way? Like, your kitchen gets so behind and you're just like, whoa. If anybody walked in and saw how I really lived, they'd be like, disgust. Gross. Nasty. You know how those weeks go. You just have busy weeks at work and a lot of stuff's going on. Alright. So we've got that all mixed together. So after my casserole comes out of the oven for 15 minutes, I'm going to just kind of blob this around on it, and then I'm going to stick it back again with this sour cream cheesy mixture to bake for another 15 minutes. So we'll see you whenever we get this on there. Okay guys, so the casserole has been cooking. I'm just going to blob on the sour cream and cheese mixture that we made. And it's not going to like spread evenly because it'll melt once we put it back in the oven for another 15 minutes. Looks like it's really thickened up a lot. And getting a lot of the bowl scraping action going on here. Alright, so now that I have that all together, I'm going to go ahead and stick it back in the oven for another 15 minutes. And then we'll be back to see all the ooey gooey cheesy stuff. Alright guys, so there's the finished product. I'm going to let it cool for a little while. I'm going to spoon it out into some dishes and we're going to get some grubs on. And probably going to eat with it a little bit of these. These are some little mozzarella little pinwheel things. I saw these on Cooking and Crafting and decided to make them. Probably be good to slop up a little bit of the juices from that. But I'll put the link on here. Super easy to make and they look super good. So we're going to be eating good tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So, hope you enjoyed. Hope you can make something of your own sometime as well.